Hello, guys. You are tuning in to the Pink Sock Podcast with me and my co-host Tony here. Hi, Tony. How are you doing, brother?
Oh, not bad.
Today's show is brought to you by Romo Gaming. You can catch him on Twitch tonight, right after this show, on twitch.tv/Romo2968. He's doing a 2-hour live stream of playing Friday the 13th. And also, this show is also brought to you by 13 Unlucky 13 artwork, which you can find any of his links at allmylinks.com/unlucky13, I do believe is what it is. Yeah, you can go check him out. And he's also on Facebook. Just look up Unlucky 13. He's the guy that did our logo. He's the guy that did my pop figure. We also today are going to be joined by the lovely Nathan Kepner. His face is too sexy to be brought on right now. He's trying to get ugly right now. Are you ready? Are you ready back there? Nod your head. Here we go. We have Nate, the almighty Nathan Kepner. Hello.
What up? What's going on?
What's up, brother?
I miss your hair in person, Mike.
You can stroke it whenever we see each other.
Whenever we can go back to being normal.
Yeah, right.
Which reminds me, what is we talked about this before we went on the air. What's the weirdest porn you've watched? Let's ask the real questions.
We're going right into it, huh?
Let's ask the real questions. No music. Fuck that. We know you're in a band.
Well, there's a couple. There's the one, the weirdest one I've seen. The first one that came to mind was this lady was dressed up in this like alien outfit, but it was like it looked like a turd with a sideways head, kind of like E.T. but uglier. And this dude just goes to town on this alien poop, basically, from like the 1970s. Oh man!
Oh,
And I was young when I first saw that one. When I was
it's
young,
all
when I first
grainy
saw that
looking.
one. Oh yeah, and like the screen like does the little twitch, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's like trying to watch it, but the one that's that I'll never get out of my head was this guy had these two girls. He had them bent over on a bed, and he's eating them out, and then he takes one girl and he flips her over on her back, puts her legs up over her head, and takes a pair of forceps and shoves them in her ass, opens them up, puts Fruit Loops and milk in, and then eats the Fruit Loops out of her ass with a spoon. My first thought was, I need to try this.
You need to try this.
Craigslist ad.
Yeah,
I'm sure the wife would love that idea.
And that's the story of how I met your mother.
Oh man.
So,
if my wife watches this, she's going to kill me. She's a very modest woman.
Also, while we're talking about fucking aliens and all that fun stuff, this show is also, I forgot to mention, this show is also brought to you by AudioVein Entertainment, where you can find all your latest music news. I think Marcus would appreciate that segue right after talking about fucking aliens. Funky in the comment section, she's like, the question was great, but the answer was worse. So, speaking of fucking aliens,
there's another
let's
video
go
I've
right
seen.
into this segue.
There's another one I've seen too. You guys ever seen the Avatar porn, where the
Unfortunately,
the girl and the guy dresses up like in the Avatar costumes from the movie? I mean, it looks real. I mean, they did. Whoever they got to do the makeup for that was astounding. Like, they probably paid more than they should have to make a porno movie for that.
I thought you were talking about Avatar: The Last Genderbender. I didn't know you were talking about the green people or the blue people.
Legit Avatar from the Avatar movie. They you know, how a lot of porn companies make like spin-offs of movies. Somebody did one of Avatar the movie.
I don't know.
It's super low budget.
I have friends that watch it, but give me one person that didn't watch the Avatar porn. That's somebody I can't trust. I love how the first question on this is, what's the weirdest porn you watched?
I'd recommend watching that Avatar porn in 3D like everybody watched the movie in.
Oh, there you go.
Dodge and cum shots like the Matrix. So aliens is one of the topics we're going to talk about, and it's funny. The weirdest porn you've ever watched was involving aliens. Oh, by the way, Matt says that he's seen weirder. What is the weirdest porn you've watched, Matt?
Matt's probably made weirder.
Who is this Matt character?
He's the man.
Oh, he's the man that you ate Fruit Loops out of the asshole.
Yeah, he's the one that let me try it. Yeah.
So, aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
Of course. You'd have to be. I don't want to say you have to be stupid, but you'd have to be. You'd have to be pretty ignorant, in my opinion, to not think that there is the possibility of other life somewhere else. I mean,
like, are we talking flat Earth ignorant or?
No. We're talking the sun is bullshit ignorant.
Oh God.
So I'm going to bring on another person that's going to be joining us, and I'll ask him what he thinks of aliens and ask him the first question. Please welcome my buddy Connor, or Connor, or Connor, or how do you want to pronounce it?
Yeah, it's just J. Connor B, bro.
J. Connor,
so
do you enjoy porn?
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna let you guys know where I came in at. I came in at forceps. Okay, that's where I came in and I'm just like, all right, headphones on. Okay, I'm good.
Forceps
and you're just like forceps, and I was like, so like I'm munching on some candies, right? And like you say Fruity Pebbles, and it's just a bowl of M&Ms, and I'm like, I can't.
So what's the weirdest porn you've ever watched was our first question.
I watched a man shove his entire head in a vagina.
Oh, I've seen that video too. I forgot about that. I thought it was fake for a long time.
I've done worse. I'm just kidding. Rocky says hi, Nate, with a kissy face.
Hi, Rocky.
Continue with your story.
So
Connor,
the discovery of it was a much more interesting story than the actual like porno itself. I was just like, I was like 15, I think, 16. I know it was like young in high school, and I was just like, Pornhub. Pulls it up, and I'm like, just the tip. And it was like the third one down, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So click, and loads in, and I'm like, okay. And it's just like this small little Asian person. They're lubing her up, and he's lubing up his head, his shaved head, and I'm like, oh no, what's going on here? The bald guy, yep. He
looked like the cover of the Disturbed album.
Yeah, and he just like slowly put it around, and like she started like just gushing at like here, and he got over his eyes to his nose, and then like pulled back out, and I was like, that's just the tip. Yep.
Tense.
That's just the tip.
Amateurs. I would have made it to the chin. So would you eat Fruit Loops out of another man's asshole, Connor?
Is it breast milk or from a cow?
It's from a bowl.
That's his deal breaker.
It's from a bowl.
Oh man.
Like, is it bear milk, or is it actually like from a bowl?
It's bull cum.
Yeah, no, I can't do
Oh,
that.
you mean
Nope.
Red Bull?
Red Bull. So, Connor, do you believe in aliens? Speaking of porn of a head going inside a vagina.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Now, do you believe in little green men aliens, or do you believe in just different life forms, or both?
Grace.
No, different life forms, but I actually have like a very vivid childhood memory where like me and my friend, like we like ran home thinking that we just saw a UFO in the sky. Or shit you not. We were just playing basketball late at night and those lights are on. But at 11:30 at this park, the lights would shut off automatically. So 11:30, literally lights out. And we're just sitting there, we're just chilling. You know, we live a few blocks from home. We don't want to go home yet. And we look in the sky and like there is this light. It was too close. If it was a lightning bug, it would be too close and we could like see it would be fluttering.
Mhm.
But it looked like it was in the sky, in the clouds. And it was just this light and it just shot almost in a zigzag fashion and then just like went away. And we ran home. We're like, holy shit, we just saw a UFO. Oh my God.
Bam.
You know, we get home and we just told my dad and then he's like, yeah, that was probably like some like secret military vehicle just flying overhead. I'm like, you're just as crazy as me. Okay.
Well, a lot of people believe that because a lot of the UFO sightings and stuff like that never really caught any real traction until after World War II. And
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of controversy around why we went to war to begin with, but I know that Germany had a lot of high tech shit going on right at the end of the war, and the United States ended up getting the majority of Germany's scientists, and then all of a sudden, 3, 4, 5 years later, all this shit shows up in the sky. It's got traction, that theory, but
Didn't the
definitely.
government
A
just
lot of
release a
people
bunch of
also
paper?
believe.
What's that?
Didn't the government just release proof that UFOs are real?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but murder
well-
hornets are kind of like a thing.
Yeah.
And COVID and social inequality and
And then they're like, "Hey, aliens are a thing," and everybody else is like, "Yeah, fuck you. We don't."
Yeah.
Yeah. That took a backseat hard.
Probably the
Yeah.
stuff that they declassified was already declassified a long time ago. They just made it public that they declassified it so they could divert attention somewhere else.
So hey, Nate. Sorry to go back to this subject, but weirdest porn I saw is
Hold on, say again.
the weirdest porn I ever saw was this.
Wow, bro, that's like 5 years old. You creeping on me hard, man.
I looked up Shrouded. I looked up Shrouded Neglect, and that was like the third photo that
Oh,
popped
no
up.
way. I think there's a photo on there from years ago too, where my pants are down. You have to go looking for that one.
Where's that at? Asking for a friend.
On our Facebook's.
You never did play that show wearing a romper, did you?
No, I didn't.
Man, that was a missed opportunity.
I know. Well, I mean, I told myself that I was going to do it if it was worth it, and that specific show wasn't worth it.
is a tunic a romper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell
Okay.
you what, if me wearing a romper was the end all of all this bullshit going on, if they said, "Hey Nate, if you wear a romper, we'll let you play a show," I would definitely wear one because I'm tired of sitting in my house
Yeah, I feel
all day long. all day long.
So
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is the longest I've been off, like not doing anything since I was 13 years old. You know, I've had full-time jobs and playing in a band, 100 shows a year, working 50 hours a week. So it's really nice. You know, you don't realize how much you miss your home life being home, but at the same time, it's like, man, I haven't played a show in a long time. This is the longest I've gone without playing a show in years, and it's
That's
driving me
rough.
nuts. Yeah.
it sucks because Tony over there, he was Psalms was supposed to do Battle of the Bands for Vacan Open Air and had to be canceled, and they have to reapply.
Gee,
Yeah.
you got to reapply? Wow.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna put it in there that be like, hey man, we were in the competition and then this COVID shit happened. Like, are we gonna be back in it? Like, because it took us 5 years to get on this one. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
If anybody in the comment section has any questions for Nate or any of us, we will bring it up on the screen, just so everybody knows. So I noticed, Connor, you said you found this video on Pornhub, but
Yep.
I can probably speak for Tony and Nate. We probably found it on the old days of LimeWire.
God.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it was
Man.
still called Just the Tip, by the way.
Your penis wasn't the only thing that could get a virus when watching, when doing
Yep.
sexual things. I'm telling you. We've
Am
gone
I,
through many computers in my adolescent years.
am I the only
I
one
don't know
that
what happened, Mom. I don't know why the computer isn't working anymore. I don't know.
am
All
I the only
days of dial-up internet.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that remembers on LimeWire you would download a song and you'd wait hours and all you'd get is a 5-second clip of Bill Clinton?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
crapshoot,
beyond me,
man.
man.
It was always a crapshoot downloading stuff off of LimeWire.
So in the light of all the protests and stuff, Connor, what did you want to? I know you wanted to talk about something on here.
I did. I wanted to bring someone up, and I wanted to. I before I knew we were going to be talking about aliens and pornos, which I'm very okay with. That's very much okay. I wanted to bring up talking about black artists and people of color in the metal community.
When you say artists, the first one that comes to mind is the singer of Seven Dust.
Yep. I found that Seven Dust came to mind, and one other band. And Mike, you and I just saw them back in the fall.
Fuck, Fire from the Gods.
Yep.
That's a good band.
They're
Yeah.
good. Who's
Oh,
the
yeah.
first?
But-
Who's the first band that comes to mind for you, Nate?
I'd have to say Killswitch Engage with
Yeah.
Howard
Oh yeah.
and my buddy Ed from Disillusion Effect. Man, those guys are probably one of my all-time favorite regional local bands, and he's one of the best guitar players I've ever come across, and also one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life. I mean, he can sit and have a conversation with anybody and feel comfortable with this.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where you can, he can be your best friend within 5 minutes. Awesome guy.
Awesome. And I'm gonna have to point out the elephant in the room, but the only one that hasn't answered yet is Tony and his No Lives Matter shirt.
I knew that was gonna be a problem.
Call him out. There we go.
I mean, yeah, No Lives Matter is a great song. It is.
What is your favorite black group or whatever metal group with a black singer? Or...
Jeez. Sepultura.
Oh fuck!
Hell
How did I not
How
think
did
of
we
them?
skip that?
I don't know how you guys skipped that.
Let's give a little shout out though to a band that always gets overlooked because he's a rapper originally. Body Count.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Body Count has the song No Lives Matter.
No Lives Matter.
Yep.
It's a great song, actually.
Yep.
It's awesome.
I saw them live at one of the fests where they have 17 stages set up and all the bands are playing at the same time.
I mean, Mike and we just saw them back in the fall too.
Yep.
It was great.
Oh, did you? It was
They were awesome.
it was at Post Gazette or Key Bank or whatever it's called now a few years ago. Fantastic live. Fantastic.
Yep.
It was a weird lineup because they had Body Count and then they had Ice Cube.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Body Count and Ice Cube on the same lineup. But Mike, remember it was like you, me, Sam, Greg, and a few other people like right around us, and we were all vibing and shit on the other stage.
Yeah, we weren't even on the right side.
Yeah, we weren't even on the right side. We were vibing, we were dancing, we were singing along and everything, and we were just surrounded by a bunch of white people. A ton of white people that were just staring at us like,
We started.
Yeah,
we straight up started our own rap mosh pit. Like we were swaying back and forth.
Yeah, we had like 15 people in a little area, like vibing, getting it, and everyone right around that area were like, nah, no thanks, y'all. Yeah.
Well, we were in Louisville, Kentucky. We're surprised they even showed up.
I know. I really wanted
shooting things.
I really wanted a Body Count to play like KKK bitch, and I was like, please, this is a good one. And for those of you that don't know, KKK bitch is a song about a black man fucking the Grand Wizard's daughter. So
that is. There's also a song by Afro Man of the.
Oh man.
So Nate,
Afro Man was my shit back in the day. I used with the original Xbox. You could like put your CDs in and like download your music onto the Xbox and play it while you're playing video games. And I would play like Oddworld and just listen to Afro Man all night long. That was my shit back in the day.
Hey, mention Oddworld. They're coming out with a new one.
I saw that.
That's intense.
So
I remember playing that game for hours.
Speaking of Xbox, because I was that nerd, I used to download like songs on my Xbox and use them as intro themes on old wrestling games.
Nice.
Like the weirdo that I was. So Nate, you're
get back to that KKK though, real quick. Do you know there's a petition going around? I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a petition going around for you sign it for the government to label them a terrorist organization. I can't believe that's not already been a thing.
I know.
Yeah.
But just recently, everybody
we all hated the KKK.
Just recently, though, quickly, anybody who is against fascism is now terrorists.
Yeah, I saw that.
I look like one, so you know.
So since Rocky brought it up, what is your thoughts on the Insane Clown Posse?
I can smell the MRSA through the phone right now.
MRSA and Fago.
It's not really the band or the music that I don't enjoy. I mean, it's not my thing. I'm not one to talk shit on any type of music. I can find enjoyment in all of it. It's the fan base that I can't. And it's because of personal experience. Everybody that I've ever known, you know what I mean, to be like a huge ICP fan has had MRSA once in their life, smells like cat pee, and has bad tattoos. If any of you guys are ICP fans, I apologize, but that's I don't know. I mean, that's just my personal experience. Everybody I've ever come across is, you know, it's the Chevy Cavalier with the ICP hatchet on the back with the busted windows. I've never had a good experience with an ICP fan at all, ever.
A lot of the times, like 80% of them, I do have one friend that is an ICP fan that's a great guy, but a lot of them have a Hatchet Man tattoo that was done in their best friend's basement.
Yeah, and they got MRSA from it. I'm serious.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about music because that you are in a band.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm having a bit of a crisis right now.
You got
I
diarrhea.
didn't realize literally every single ICP fan that I've had in my life fits that description. And I'm really trying to wrap my brain around it because I've had like
you can smell cat pee right now, can't you? You can smell cat pee right now.
That was a problem with two. One of them didn't have that issue. One Josh was okay.
It was cat litter.
All of them had like questionable tattoos. They smelled weird. they were okay people.
Yeah,
One of them did drive a
had.
Cavalier, and I'm just over here like, damn, yeah, he really hit that one on the head.
I've never had like an argument with a juggalo, but I've just not been the type of people that I want to associate myself with. That's all.
Right. So, quick question for you guys, not music related, even though I was going to go into that. What is the weirdest conspiracy theory you guys have ever heard? I already know Tony's answer, so shut up, Tony. What is the weirdest one you guys heard?
Oh man.
I've got one. It's from Missouri. The governor of Missouri is convinced that solar panels are like they deemed solar panels illegal for I think it went through for 6 months because he believed that solar panels were draining the life force from the sun. Here, take that one, mull that one over.
Well, I was gonna say one, but that one now officially has reached my top weirdest conspiracy because that is out there. I would say
he was also convinced about like windmills and that windmills were destroying the clouds and stuff. But like
our president thinks windmills cause cancer, so
that means everybody in Pennsylvania has cancer. You know that, right?
Rocky says Reagan killed all the birds.
Birds are robots. Change my mind. Birds are robots.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one I was gonna say is people like believing that like pigeons in New York City are like robots. Like that's crazy. I've heard people talk about how like dragonflies are like part of like CIA intelligence and they like fly around to like listen to conversations and shit. That's kind of out there. I mean, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but that kind of stuff is pretty out there.
The weirdest conspiracy theory I've heard, and I think Tony too, we were listening to Chris Porter one day, and he brought up conspiracy theory that I thought he was just joking about, and it's not real. I've Googled it. The sun is bullshit. There's a group of people that think that big fucking ball in the sky is not real.
Flat earthers and shit. Wow.
Oh, flat earthers, don't even get me started. What do you think? Astronauts went to space and got the perfect photo angle every fucking time?
Now, what's the one conspiracy theory that a lot of people don't believe that you think could be real?
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
That Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself?
I definitely believe that he did kill himself.
Oh,
or that I'm sorry, that he did not kill himself. I believe that he didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the new add-on to that conspiracy theory?
What's that?
They believe it was more than just the Clintons that killed him. They believe Trump was involved too.
Oh, dude.
I bet you everybody's involved.
Because did you hear about that court document? I don't want to get political here, but there was a court document that came out from Anonymous that lists him in Jeffrey Epstein's contacts and in a court case where they fought for a 13-year-old girl.
That came out back in 2016, and I'm surprised that it's finally getting some real traction now.
Because anything against him's fake.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's living in his own house of cards right now, bro.
The real house of cards. What is your thoughts? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Kevin Spacey's currently going to court and stuff for allegedly raping a 14-year-old. Now, when he was asked about it publicly, he stated that he may or may not have done that many years ago, but it makes sense because he's gay. Pretty much is what he said.
So he's allowed to rape 14-year-old boys because he's gay. Is that what you're saying?
No, he used it as a way to come out of the closet.
Is that what he's saying? Is what I meant.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He's
I didn't get the memo.
He used it.
I'm gay. That means I get to touch little boys. All right,
dude. I'm not even playing. There's a group of people. I don't know how big it is, but it started getting traction and got shot down, obviously. But people are trying to make it to where pedophilia is labeled as a sexual reference, like preference.
I've seen those videos. I've seen like the
What kind of videos are you watching? Oh, you meant the seminars. Okay.
They're like TED Talk for pedophiles.
Yeah.
So let's
Crazy.
get back. Let's get back on track here. Man, nothing's sacred on this show, and that's how we like
But
it.
sir, one more point though, real quick. I do totally believe that the Epstein situation. I believe that there was more than enough people involved with that, because that's the only time Democrats and Republicans are going to come together for a situation like that, because they're all fucking involved with that.
Right.
Shit,
That's
in
why I
my
don't.
opinion.
That's why I don't keep up with politics or vote, because they're all fucked up.
All right, moving on.
What is the conspiracy theory that you believe, Tony, that nobody else really seems to believe?
There's a conspiracy theory going around that the Queen of England is a cannibal and that Finland doesn't exist.
You believe that?
No, I don't believe that. But I'm saying the cannibal part is probable.
Maybe.
I just created my own conspiracy theory that Kenneth Copeland is a demon in lizard skin. And
I've seen those conspiracies too, like the lizard people. Like they show the videos where like Obama is a lizard man, and it shows like his eyes turn green real quick.
I saw that video. It's a really bad edit.
It's so easy. It's so easy to get caught in the rabbit hole of YouTube, man. When you watch one video, you're like, click, 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 click.
I would believe if Kenneth Copeland was a lizard. I would. He looks like one.
Yeah, he does.
Have you seen that video of him where he's like, I don't want to get on an airplane because it's a long tube full of demons?
That dude is just a weasel.
So what's the one conspiracy you believe in, Connor, since we're falling off the rails here?
I'm going to say this, and I feel like we'll all be on the same page, kind of like the Epstein thing. The United States government killed JFK.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why else is our government fighting to declassify the files, even though legally they have to?
Yeah. Same thing with Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they killed him.
We
too.
all know it.
Well, I find it weird. I'm not trying to like push views on people because everybody has their own view, but I believe that it's weird when people are saying like peacefully protest, which is happening. There are violence, but there's more peaceful than violent. But JFK peacefully protested, and he got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and
everyone lost their minds.
He got vilified for it.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, even though the peaceful, the true movement of what's going on right now is peaceful, can you honestly really argue with what's going on? Dave Chappelle just released a new, like, I would say not really a comedy special, but like a 30-minute video on his take on everything. And I highly suggest everybody should watch it.
I watched that last night. It was powerful.
Very.
Yeah.
I have the only times in my life that I have ever like shed tears was when my kids were born. And that video made me shed a few tears, dude, when you talk like it's very powerful.
I'll have to watch it. Not to change the mood, but Rocky.
Jesus, Rocky. Come on.
Kennedy went for a ride to clear his head.
I would say he succeeded, sir.
Yeah.
But one of the conspiracy theories that I believe any conspiracy theory has some basis, whether it's true or not. But there's a lot of them.
Base of validity. Yeah.
Yeah, some base of validity. And not the earth is flat. Then people are stupid. But I can
that theory's been around since like way early in the Earth's history with people.
Do you
people have went to try to find the edge of the earth?
Dude, they should make a TV show, and I guarantee you everybody would watch it to see if they're dumb enough to try it.
This guy spent $10,000 to prove the earth is flat. And he ended up proving it's round. He's like, "Oh, that's not legit. I need to try to prove it further."
I make the bet that you could come out with an 8-episode series about a dude going to see the edge of the earth to see if it's flat, knowing he's going to fail, and that would be more popular than the Tiger King.
Oh, I did mention this on a previous episode. I'd like your guys' opinion on this. There is going to be a live action Tiger King movie.
Oh god.
Man.
Who would you guys have play Joe Exotic? I'm going to go through the
Joe
people.
Dirt. Joe Dirt.
It's got to be Joe Dirt. Got to be.
Okay, how about the guy that did the documentary that looked like Crocodile Dundee? What about that guy?
Real quick. Oh, can it be just Joe Dirt as all the characters? Just do it to that style.
No, because Carol Baskin has to be Danny DeVito.
Oh god.
The only one that's not Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt even plays the tiger.
So Matt says Nick Cage, or is the Nicolas Cage playing Carol Baskin?
No, I seen the thing where they showed like Nicolas Cage like photoshopped him that looked like the Tiger King, and he's got a point. Nick Cage would be good.
I heard that, but they interviewed Joe Exotic about it, and he's like, I think he said Tom Cruise should play him, or Brad Pitt, somebody like that. I'm like, what?
Tom Cruise has better shit to be doing than to be in that movie.
How about
Like Tom Cruise is going to the space station.
Oh, apparently Joe Exotic, that is confirmed. Nick Cage is playing him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think if he was still alive, we should have done a Tiger King with like David Spade as Joe Exotic, Chris Farley as as Carol Baskin.
So what about Simon Pegg and Simon's friend? They're in Paul. They're in Hot Fuzz. They're in oh god, you guys know the actress I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I could Google it, but
Simon Pegg and oh man, you guys have seen the movie Paul, right?
Yeah.
The alien.
Oh yeah.
And then the bar at the end of the world.
hold on.
Oh my gosh, I can't think. But like,
Kristen Wiig.
Is that his name? Kristen Wiig?
Oh no, that's a woman.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound right.
Bill Hader. He was in that movie.
Have you guys seen Hot Fuzz?
Hot Fuzz.
Oh my!
Yeah, I know the actor you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Just have them play it.
I
Simon
think
Pegg will be good.
I think we should do a Tiger King movie, but like Happy Gilmore Productions.
Oh god.
Who would play Joe Exotic's toothless husband?
You
Adam
can do
Sandler.
it.
Adam Sandler.
No, the You Can Do It guy that plays the weirdo in every single movie.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rob Schneider. That'd be good.
He's like, I've been with Joe forever.
Oh, you know who would be good for the dude with the hat, the older guy that was smoking cigarettes all the time. He was there doing another documentary. What the hell was his name in that movie?
The director,
the guy from Boardwalk Empire. You know what I'm talking about? Steve Buscemi or whatever his name. He would play that real well.
Okay, yeah.
Who
Steve
would
Buscemi.
play the flat guy riding off into the sunset on the jet ski?
Kevin James.
Yep. I'm happy we're in agreement there because I was trying to think of I was like, oh, Mall Cop. What's his name? I was like, oh yeah.
Do you know who should play the older guy there that smokes?
Who's that?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you guys heard of we were talking about Ghostbusters before we came on and the remake and how it sucked? I mean, for some people it sucked. Have you heard of the movie called The Bill Murray Stories?
Mm-hmm.
Not the movie, but I know about his weirdness and how he likes to like crash weddings and shit.
He doesn't just do that. The man doesn't have a manager and he doesn't have anybody in charge of him. Literally, in order for a movie producer to get him in a movie, they have to call a 1-800 number that's hard to find, and he whether or not calls you back or not. It took one woman 2 years to get him to star in one of her movies.
Wow, really?
Because
He's off the grid, man.
He does what he wants when he wants. He'll randomly show up at parties and nobody knows why he's there.
Wow.
He's like a fucking ghost, and then he'll disappear. And he'll also tell people, nobody's going to believe you, and then he leaves.
That's true, though. It's true.
He walked up to a guy at a urinal one time, put his hands over his eyes, and says, nobody's going to believe you. And the guy turned around, it was Bill Murray. He waved and left.
Is fucked up.
Only Bill Murray could do that.
Yeah, like if it's Joe Biden.
Talk about a weird experience in a bathroom.
So, Tony told me this. What is the weirdest thing that has ever happened to your band while on the road or while doing a show?
Oh man. All right. I got a good one. This is freaky. We played at the Cove in Geneva on the Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And we got this crappy, shitty motel, like right outside of Geneva, because everything else was just too expensive, like inside Geneva.
Uh-huh.
And we get there and we unload like our clothes and shit into the room. And the cleaning lady is 2 doors down. And I remember because, who was it? One of the guys like mentioned that she was coming around cleaning, and we're finished loading stuff like into our room. And then we hear this loud scream, right?
Uh-huh.
So we go running out of we just got there. We were only there for 5 minutes. We run out of our room and she's right next to our room, and she comes running out. And she said, there's somebody dead in there. We look in the room. There's this guy who is kneeled over, like with his head in his like waist, laying right inside the door, dead as a doornail inside his room. So we had to play a show that night, but it was just like, that was the craziest thing that has ever happened.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's like, I was expecting something like weird, not something like, hey, somebody died.
Oh, that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to us, like on the road.
If you ever want to fuck with Marcus or Fink of Psalms of Silence, show them this picture.
Is that Kyle Gass? Was that Kyle Gass?
Do you want me to explain the story?
I met him one time at NAMM.
Oh, so did Marcus and Fink, but in a different way.
Oh God.
So we were playing the Empty Glass down in Charleston.
Yeah.
And it's a nice place. But there's this dude that looked almost just like Kyle Gass, but with like I think he had a goatee maybe. Definitely a full head of hair. But he was buying everybody drinks. And I thought it was just a cool dude buying the band's drinks or whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, Marcus and Fink went out to the smoking area to get a cigarette. And this guy approached him and said, you guys are 2 good-looking fellas. Would you guys mind if I gave you a blowjob?
And I was there when they explained this. Marcus was nowhere to be found, so I think he took it. But
yeah, dude, Fink came out of the door and came back into the bar area. He grabs me by the shirt hard. He's like, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'll tell you outside. And then he tells me the story, and I'm like, oh, dude, you should have took him up on that.
He should have. The guy was nice. He was just giving out free drinks and wanted to suck your dick. It's free. You can't get a free blowjob anywhere nowadays.
You can trade stuff on Craigslist.
Oh, yeah. You could like some milk and some Fruit Loops. So, I usually, the reason why I say on the show that somebody's a special guest, if you noticed, we don't really talk about the normal shit. So, but I am going to talk a little bit music so that you can get your band out there more. Shrouded Neglect is the band Nate's in. Their music will make you cry, puke. You might enjoy it. No. Shrouded in Neglect, though, started off under the name Sin. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's OG stuff.
OG. Actually, we got that name because my mother used to be the lead singer. Her name was Cindy,
Yeah.
and we shortened it to Sin, and that was the original name of the band.
So why did you change it to Shrouded in Neglect?
We wanted to get away from the whole Sin thing and focus on our own thing, so we kind of just kept the SIN, but Shrouded in Neglect. It's not really any kind of special story behind it. Like a lot of bands have like a special story behind the name of their band. It just, we tried to find, an S word, an I word, and an N word that sounded right together.
Thank God you picked Neglect.
Yeah.
You would have been like a rap band or something. Anyway. But yeah, you guys did have a EP, I heard, when you were Sin. You guys should release that on Spotify so people can hear the early workings of Shrouded in Neglect.
Re-release, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't even think that it's online anywhere. I don't think you can get it unless you.
Yeah, Nate, you're a dick. You fired your own mom.
I knew that was coming. Tumultuous time it was.
I was faced with an ultimatum. Thanks, Rocky.
Rocky's a dick, but we love him.
No, in all seriousness, we wanted to get heavier, and she didn't, and it was kind of a crossroads between.
Are you talking musically or physically? Because Psalms tried taking that same route, but they keep hiring skinny drummers and singers.
I think we're still heaviest by combined weight.
No, Bowling for Soup has you beat.
Oh.
But yeah, back on topic. So you guys wanted to be heavier, and she didn't want to do the heaviness.
Yeah, we wanted to get heavier, and she didn't, so we kind of just went separate ways.
Understandable. You guys have had quite lineup changes, I've noticed. Are you the only original?
Yeah, me and Jake are really the only original members, and Jake has come and gone a couple times.
Is he still with you guys?
Yeah, we're actually on a little bit of a break right now. He just had a baby, and with all this COVID stuff going on, we just kind of took a little break. I'm focusing on writing some stuff for my other band, For What It's Worth.
Is that
moving on to that when Kyle?
Is that the name of the band, For What It's Worth?
Yeah. It used to be called Fusion. Now it's called For What It's Worth.
Nice.
What's that like?
It's more of like a modern rock sound.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like I want to say like Alter Bridge meets Stained, 3 Days Grace, that kind of stuff.
So you guys going to get anything on streaming?
Benjamin.
You guys got anything on streaming?
Yeah, we have some stuff on. We did an EP back in 2015 that's available on Reverb Nation and SoundCloud and all that. It's not on like Spotify or anything. But
you guys been gigging?
We played a few shows back in 2015. We played all across the area back in 2005, 2006. We upped and packed our van and moved to California actually, and stayed out there for a while.
Nice.
How'd you like California?
It was great. I mean, we could pull our acoustic guitars out and stand on Hollywood, like stand on the street in Hollywood and make $350-$400 a day just jamming out all day long. I loved it out there. It was great. Yeah.
So speaking of playing acoustically, you ever plan on doing a Shrouded in Neglect Unplugged?
I would love to. That would be great.
If you're not familiar, Connor, Shrouded in Neglect is a how would you describe your guys' sound? Like deathish metal?
Deathy groove metal, I guess. We're not extreme enough to be with the cool guys, but we can still hang with them live. Mm-hmm. We don't play like super low tuning. We still play 6-string, but
Okay.
but it's like the screaming vocals. We sing about aliens and gore and horror and shit like that.
And that one time that he got probed by that alien, but he don't want to tell you his name was Pablo, and he was a nice guy.
I bet you Rise would still sound crushing on an acoustic, though.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Mhm.
for sure. I would love to do acoustic stuff with Shrouded. That would be fun.
Believe
I
it
love-
or not,
I love changing everything up. I like all kinds of music. Except for
believe it or
modern
not,
country.
that could work because I discovered that acoustic black metal is a thing.
Dude, there's a form of music for everything.
I want to create the first ever polka thrash death metal band.
There you go.
And they will open up for popcorn.
Yes. I'm starting a band, Nate. You should join in on it. It's called Popcorn. We do pop
Mhm.
covers in the style of Corn.
Nice. Korn's my favorite band of all time. I would enjoy
Let-
doing that for sure.
Like we're gonna do like Britney Spears. Oh baby, baby, how was I supposed to know?
And then like it's gonna be May.
Yeah.
That's
It's gonna be bum,
I was-
bum, 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 no, no.
yeah. I'm telling you, Mike. I'm telling you. I really do want to get all of us together. You know, get some ideas flowing, get some things on paper, and be like, yeah, okay, let's take it to a studio and just like roll with it.
Nice.
I wanna create my own name called Odd Mike Yank on my dick, but I don't. I don't. Phew. So yeah, what kind of what was the first album you bought where you're like, this is what the fuck I want to do?
The very first album I ever bought with my own money was actually Matchbox 20's "Yourself or Someone Like You,"
Yep.
and that's what got me into music to begin with. Was that album, and then I discovered bands like Korn and System of a Down, and
Nice.
I was like, this is my shit. This is what I want to do right here. My parents were in a band years ago called Mongo Huey. I used to see them live all the time. And that was, you know, seeing my parents do that, I wanted to definitely follow in their footsteps.
What's one of the bands like in your playlist? Go ahead, Connor.
I was gonna say, talking about like the first album that you bought. By you talking about it, I was like, oh, what was my first one that I bought with my money? And then I really went down the rabbit hole in my brain. I was like, okay, this, no, that, no, that, no, that. It was Driven. It was the Test for Echo album from Rush. It was the first CD I bought. And then, because that's huge into Rush, and that was the album. Listening to Driven, I was like, I want to learn how to play the bass. That's what really led it.
My first album, I sing sometimes. I'm not really a professional singer, but the first album I bought actually wasn't a album. It was Black Sabbath's Greatest Hits.
Okay.
And the second War Pigs came on. I'm like, okay, I now enjoy metal.
It must have been a huge Greatest Hits album, like the whole first 6 albums all together.
No, it was weird. It was a 1-disc album, but it only had the Aussie shit.
Nice.
So I don't know, because I love Sabbath for what it is, but like anything without Aussie, I consider like the Dio era is just heaven and hell. It's not Sabbath. I love Dio, but
That's a fair
Dio.
argument.
Yeah. The Dio years is great too, though. It's just its own thing, in my opinion. I saw Heaven and Hell live before. It was the Dio's last tour. What are you flipping me off for?
He's jealous.
Oh man, it was.
I know I was to be at that show.
It was Heaven and Hell, Judas Priest, and what the hell was the name of that band? Mike Portnoy is the drummer.
It's a good lineup.
Dream Theater.
Oh, I thought you were saying Mike Portnoy was the drummer of Black Sabbath.
No. He was. No, that was the first name that came to my head thinking of Dream Theater.
Oh, okay. I got confused.
No,
So
I was there with you, Mike. I was like, that's not the drummer. That's not the drummer at
No.
all. Yeah.
It's not. No, Tommy Clefitis is actually the last drummer that Black Sabbath had, I do believe. Which, funny story, I saw Ozzy Osbourne a couple years ago, and he came out to introduce his band, and he was like, let me introduce you to my band. We've got Zach Wild over here on the guitar. We've got Blasco on the bass, and my drummer. What the fuck's his name? He went ahead and did the next.
They obviously
Please.
didn't put his name in the teleprompter.
Ozfest
Yeah.
99 was the first real concert that I was ever at, like I ever attended. Was Ozfest 99.
Shit, my first concert.
Man, that's good. Then.
My first was Alice Cooper Blue Oyster Cult in 2008.
Where was that at?
Ohio State Fair. Alice Cooper was not allowed to have blood, so his tickets were $22 a piece.
My first concert was Allman Brothers opening up for Leonard Skinner, and I would have paid just to see the Allman Brothers.
They're
Nice.
good.
My first show was Rush. No opener, just Rush.
Man,
That should have been the name of the tour. No opener, just Rush.
that's one.
Yeah.
That's one band that I wish I would have had the opportunity to see.
Yeah,
Well,
it was amazing.
That answers my next question. An artist you haven't seen that you want to see.
Yeah.
Definitely Rush, Led Zeppelin. I would have loved to see Led Zeppelin.
Have you
I'm on that page with you, Led Zeppelin.
Have you seen Maiden yet?
Yes, I have seen Maiden.
Oh my
Yep,
god!
It was at an Ozfest, not Ozfest 99. I think it was 2000 and something. It was later in their career. But
Well, while we're on the topic of Maiden, I've got a question, and if you guys aren't into it, we could just skip right over it. But D&D is the main part of this topic. All right, is anyone here into D&D? If not,
Let's just
never
get rid of.
actually
Let's just get rid of him. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, yeah, I've been in like story development and world development of this for like over a year now, but I've been tailoring it to where a bunch of the characters and parts of the world are actually references to like music. And so Eddie is actually I went in, I have the Irish, like it's like he's like an Irish named lord, but he's the mummy lord in the sands and the dunes out in the far east. And
Well, it sounds
I've
like
got Eddie. Yeah, it really is just Eddie. He's just there now with the name Edward.
There's a show that you can watch. I forget what the name of it is off the top of my head, but there's a show that it's just a bunch of people playing D&D, but this guy added artwork to it and made a show out of it.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I'm like, wow. It's the guy that created Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Have you guys seen Rick and Morty? Speaking of aliens and shit.
I've seen a handful of episodes, not enough to like really have an opinion on it, but from what I've seen, I like the show.
We're going on an adventure, Morty. Come on, Morty.
But you sound just like him, dude.
Morty.
Come on, Morty. Let's go on an adventure.
Come on, Morty. Man. Rick, I don't know about this.
Does anybody in the comments have any questions? Probably fighting over pills, like get hard pills. I don't know.
Fighting over pills.
What?
I don't know. Let's just get rid of that comment and act like that didn't happen.
Is Rocky fighting over pills?
I don't. At this stage of his life, he's probably fighting over boner pills.
Oh.
I'm just kidding, Rocky. I love you. Don't rock bottom me. So I don't even know what to talk about now because that was a good one. So what do you guys think of like truck stops having those get hard pills?
I mean,
I've
sure.
never tried them. But I'm sure I'll need them eventually. Everybody does at some point.
I just find it odd that they don't just keep them like for sale outside where they can get the lot lizards. I mean, get hard pills does help with blood pressure.
That's my blood pressure meds.
Oh, him and Matt are talking. He ain't even talking to us. They're in bands together and stuff. Yeah. I like how Rocky Johnson's name has no capitals. But anyway, what was the first show you guys played?
As Shrouded in Neglect?
Huh?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, no, I'm talking to Connor.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I was asking what was the first show that you guys played, Shrouded in Neglect.
Oh, the very first show that we played as Sin was at West Banco Arena, in between periods at a Nailers game.
Huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yep.
How'd you line that up?
I just called Matt Rosen, the event coordinator for the Nailers, and was like, "Hey, we want to play in between periods," because I think it was I can't remember the guy's name, but I was at a game the year before, and this guy played the national anthem on guitar, and I was like, I thought it would be really cool to see it like a band in between periods, like play music, because I know that like the Penguins do that on 90s night. They have like a 90s band play in between periods.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pitched him the idea, and he was like, let's do it. So we did. We learned a bunch of like modern hard rock covers and played in between. Well, we had originals too, but we started off as a hybrid band. We did a mix between originals and covers, and that was our first show. It was in between periods at a Nailers game.
That's pretty sweet.
To clarify, playing in between rounds, you said 90s bands are playing, not the actual 90s bands, right?
Oh no, like a 90s cover band, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say like Hootie and the Blowfish. You are here,
yeah.
That's where mumble rap originated. That Pearl Jam.
Yeah, everything ends in A.
My favorite song by Pearl Jam. Let's talk about this. Our favorite song. My favorite song by Pearl Jam is "Hello, Happy."
I hate that I know that.
Yellow Ledbetter.
Make me fries.
The song starts off.
I like to eat my peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Have you ever listened? Have you ever actually read the lyrics of like "I only want to be with you" and songs like that? Yeah, they're mumbling, but the lyrics are fucked up.
Yeah, they're creepy. They are really fucking creepy.
So in your grunge doesn't suck. Just that grunge does.
You wanna run that by me one more time, Chief? You said what? oh my lord.
Pearl Jam is good.
Somebody's mad.
So what genre
Somebody
of music?
find a safe space.
It's okay. I will stroke your hair. Your hair. I'm not stroking anything else. But Nate, is there any music, or Tony, or any of you guys, any music in your playlist that nobody would expect? Like, you got any Britney Spears or Boyz II Men in there?
Oh, dude, I got Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and my shit.
The Eagles.
Look at Tony's face.
Tony's like
I can't be friends with you no more.
No, that's fine. I got old school gangster rap in my playlist.
Oh yeah, dude. I got some old. I got Coolio and some Snoop Dogg and
some NWA, some old Ice Cube.
Yep.
Yeah.
I even got like
Christina
some LL Cool
Perry.
J.
It's weird. I don't think anybody would.
Oh, that's some old stuff.
I don't think anybody would not expect anything on my playlist.
I'm the same way, man. I always tell people, a lot of like the band members and stuff in my band, they're kind of like, I don't want to say nearsighted when it comes to music, but I definitely am the most broad when it comes to the different styles of music that I listen to. Yellow Bedwetter.
But it's weird because my variety, like majority of the music I listen to is metal and rock, but I've seen Barry Manilow in concert. I've seen Elton John in concert, and the one that I'm proud of, I've seen Weird Al 4 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you
pretty
talk
cool.
about a fucking show.
I went and saw Kool and the Gang and Wild Cherry play at Post Gazette one time. That was a great show, actually.
Was Wild Cherry headlining?
No, they were the opener.
You know you've sunk low when you're opening for Kool and the Gang.
I seen Shinedown before they got really big and famous open up for Three Doors Down.
Oh, nice.
That was a long time ago.
That was like what, early 2000s? That's Fly from the Inside.
That's when Three Doors Down came with the Way from the Sun album, I think it was.
Or is that Chapter 4?
It was one of the newer ones, like the last one they came out with.
Oh, somebody's got a call.
But Shinedown, that was their first album they put out with 45 and all that on it.
Oh yeah. That was
their first album.
That was their big album right there. What is the best debut album for an artist in your guys' opinion?
Oh man. For me personally, would have to be Korn self-titled, because there was nothing like it at that time.
True.
Nothing like it.
True.
Appetite for Destruction.
Nice.
That's got to be the best debut album, maybe. I don't know.
I live in the Boondocks, Rocky. That's why I have a landline.
The best debut album for me is Black Sabbath.
There was nothing like it at the time.
There wasn't as much drugs at the time either. How about you, Connor?
I think I don't like best debut album for the band or just best debut album. Band. True Love Never Dies by Otherwise. I'm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know who that band is.
That album is in like the top 5 albums that like you hit play, don't no skips, and I'm a big Otherwise fan. I tweet at them every year like, please try to get on the lineup at this tour, please get on the lineup for this festival, please, I want to see you again. I saw them 3 times, and twice was in like a hole in the wall bar in Parkersburg, and it was so much fun. It's always a great show.
We opened up for them at the Hard Rock Cafe a few years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, and they did a Rage Against the Machine cover, and the place was on fire, dude. They are amazing live.
They're so amazing. Good.
So
they did the Heaven cover. Yeah, they did the Heaven cover at the last show I got to see them at, and it was bro. They like them and Amy. They came on the stage. Just 2 lights, 2 bar stools, and they just played, and I was like, oh gosh, so good.
Fantastic band live.
Another good debut album from a band that not a lot of people have heard of. I saw them open Rock on the Range. Cane Hill. Cane Hill, if you never heard of them, they are very like Slipknot, Marilyn Manson-ish. They're stoners, so you got to love them.
How about this discussion? We're talking about best debut albums. What about Pantera? Do we count the glam metal one or Cowboys from Hell?
Glam metal. It's the entire band's discography. We all have
some people don't acknowledge the glam metal stuff.
And some of us aren't feeling Salmo.
Yeah. Like I count it, but like I'm not saying that I'm a big fan. But
there's a reason why they changed their sound.
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah.
They're a product of the times.
I would include it because it's under that band's name. We all have albums we ain't proud of.
Yeah.
That's like Nickelback used to be a grunge band.
Saint Anger.
Yeah.
Oh, Saint Anger. That never happened.
Hey, I'm actually a fan of that album.
You like that album?
I love it. I
So-
hate the sound quality, but I love the songs.
Let's just get rid of
Some
him.
Kind
real
of
quick.
Monster, man. That fucking song jams. Dude.
So
All right,
that,
all right.
that was our guest,
I gotta give him
Nate.
credit when it's due. That's the best song on that whole album.
No, if you can get past the horrible drums, dude, the lyrics in that, like the lyrics in that album, for me personally, I mean, you could definitely tell they were going through some shit, and you could definitely tell that Lars was being a bitch.
I read
As
somewhere.
usual.
I read somewhere that James Hetfield almost left Metallica during the making of that album.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, could you imagine the only original members, Lars?
Dude, the best part of that documentary, like the Some Kind of Monster documentary, was when they interviewed Dave Mustaine, and he was like talking about him and Lars like sitting in a hole smoking hash together. He's like, I miss my little Danish friend.
Did you ever see that video? It was of Metallica. They were listening to a Metallica cover band that was in this like building, and Lars like, I'm gonna go check them out. And James Hetfield's like, this is gonna be the only time we hear us in Time.
Wow.
You ever
Like-
seen that? You ever seen that live video of when Lars like disappeared or he got sick or something?
Mhm.
And
I agree with you, Matt. Megadeth is 1,000 times better.
Megadeth is great, and they had Joey Jordison from Slipknot get up and play a bunch of songs with them. Have you ever seen that video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, oh my
That
God.
you went from
Night and day.
you went from Lars to a better drummer.
Lars isn't even the better drummer in the band. James is a better drummer.
Did you hear about what Lars said? Not Lars, it was Kirk. What they said at a show recently. They were going to fist pound, and they said, "Here's to the only big four." And he was referring to Metallica as the only real big four. He's not even the best guitarist that Metallica has had.
Who said that?
Kirk.
No, let me correct you. He said, "Here's to the big one."
Yeah, the big one.
I didn't know you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Not one of their finer moments caught on camera, let me tell you.
he is the third best guitarist Metallica's had, and he's the fourth best guitarist Exodus has had. Now he's a better guitarist than me by all means, but
Yeah. So
what is
With-
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, so with that, do we want to bring up the conversation that we had 2 weeks ago about the big four?
Oh, we could. Nate, who would you put? Is there anybody you would remove from the big four and add somebody else? Would you keep it the way it is, or would you do away with the big four entirely? Or would you add somebody and make it the big five?
I think it's good the way it is, man.
I would personally remove Anthrax and put Exodus.
Yep.
There is no
Yep.
love for Anthrax ever, and that's sad.
I know, right?
I do-
Out of all four, Anthrax is my least favorite, but I feel they deserve to be there because those four bands started it. You know, they started that sound.
Some will argue Exodus started it too.
Yeah. They should definitely be included for sure.
Another
I
one
would
that
say
the
Big
only
Five,
reason-
they should-
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. So Megadeth is in the big four, and they didn't put out their first album till 85.
Mhm.
Exodus arguably started thrash metal because they were a band in 79, and their first album didn't come out until 85 because of the whole Kirk thing.
Mhm.
So
No, we can even go back and argue that Venom should be on the big four because Venom came out in the 70s.
yeah, but they were more of a black metal thing back then.
Yeah, but black metal wasn't a thing back then, and neither was thrash.
True.
I still posit that Anthrax should be out.
And just have.
Look at that.
I think Connor's just saying Anthrax should be out and it should just be the big three.
No, Anthrax out, Exodus in. And
I agree with that, but I think it's really crazy that there's that conversation of who's the only 4 that are worth shit. Because there's like Death Angel, Testament, and all those other ones.
Yeah.
They're equally
And
badass as everyone else.
You want to hear me really not give Anthrax love? And I do love Anthrax. This is just me being a dick. How about we remove Anthrax, add Exodus and Testament, and make it the big 5?
I mean, if you want to talk about their sound and who they are, then yeah, I think that they should be included. But if you want to talk about influence and draw, those 4 bands blow every other thrash band out of the water when it comes to those 4 bands could all play by themselves without any openers and pack any stadium in this country. You can't say that with Exodus. You know what I mean?
What's sad?
Unfortunately, yeah.
What's sad though is nowadays Anthrax doesn't. They've opened for a lot of bigger name acts, and people don't show up until they are already done playing.
Really?
Yeah. When I could be wrong on a regular Anthrax show, but when I went and saw them opening for Slayer,
I saw Anthrax open up for Lamb of God, and when I got there at Stage AE, there was nobody in the line for the merch booth for Anthrax, and there was a line to the damn door for Lamb of God merch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Lamb of God, though, bro.
I know.
Do you guys like Suicidal Tendencies?
Of course.
Yep, all day long.
Come on, bro.
They put on a great show too. Lord.
All right. Let's break the hate barrier right now. Nickelback, yay or nay?
Yay.
They put on a good show, man. I can't hate it.
Definite yay to their non-radio stuff. I can't stand that Rockstar song. Can't stand it. But I've seen them live 4 times. I go out of my way to go see them live because their live shows are amazing.
And that
I think the Silver Side Up album's my favorite stuff.
Yeah. Even their Dark Horse album. I mean, lyrically, great album. Great album.
That goes to show, though, is you can't go based off radio hits because there's a lot of bands where their best shit is not even popular.
Yep. Completely true.
Like, have you heard their early shit when, like, back in, like, the late 90s, I believe is when they came out? They were a pure grunge band from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. 100% through and through.
Damn. They even had songs with only 1-word titles. So here's a conspiracy that I would like to talk about that is music related. Kurt Cobain, did he kill himself?
No.
If he did kill himself, he was talked into it.
I think
Dave Grohl did it.
Or he was.
I think he was Epstein.
Coerced.
It was Epstein.
Talked into it, or somebody helped him do it. You know what I mean? Because you can be talked into killing yourself if you're high on heroin. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Well, here's an interesting theory. I don't know if you guys have watched
Who said no? I want to hear the reason. Or yeah.
Oh no, I said I'm gonna posit that I'm not a fan of Kurt Cobain before proceeding. I do like the conspiracy theory that Dave Grohl did it though. That's a good one.
That one.
Never heard that one.
That's insane.
The one that I heard was Fred Durst.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No, I haven't heard that one.
The big conspiracy theory is right when Kurt died, Courtney Love started dating Fred Durst.
Really?
Now, I don't think Fred Durst did it. I think a guy by the name of Alan Wrench did it. Here's why I believe that. This guy by the name of El Duce, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was the lead singer of the punk rock band The Mentors. He was good friends with Kurt and Courtney. El Duce was in an interview for a documentary. This was his last known interview. He died 2 days later. He said, yes, Courtney Love offered me $5,000 to blow his fucking head off. And I turned it down. But they will find the guy that did it. They'll find Alan. Oops. Like he accidentally slipped up. Now, the only person that they knew by the name of Alan was Alan Wrench from Seattle, who was in a horror punk band.
Wow.
and he's still around.
I know that there's a lot of like underlining hate for Kurt and Nirvana in like secret hate for him in like the Seattle scene, because there's a lot of controversy on a lot of their music that they recorded was stolen from a lot of like the underground grunge scene that was going on in Seattle at the time.
Yep.
Now, like Matt said, El Duce is not really a reputable source because he had problems and shit. But here's another thing to take into consideration. Yes, this is a tiring conspiracy. You could say Chris Cornell didn't kill himself. However, the reason why Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself is a big deal, is because half of the suicide note was not in his handwriting.
I thought Chris Cornell died jerking off with a noose around his neck. I could be wrong.
I want to say I love Robin Williams, but I've heard that rumor about Robin too.
I'm intrigued about this Dave Grohl thing, man. Like I'd never heard that before.
It was Dave Grohl did it because of artistic differences, and he was made to feel that he couldn't leave the band because he was nothing without the band, and he blew off Cobain's head. So he could move on to greener pastures.
I don't think
that dude's capable of something like that.
I don't think he did it, and here's why.
I don't think he did it. I'm just saying that's crazy.
According to reputable sources that I have read, including Dave himself, Nirvana was on the way out. Kurt alive or dead. Nirvana was going to play their last show at Lollapalooza that year. That was going to be their last show ever. Kurt Cobain was already in talks with the singer of REM. I forget his name, but the singer of REM and him were working on a solo album together. They're working on their own album. So Foo Fighters would have been a thing regardless. The first Foo Fighters album was written while Kurt was still alive. They were already working on that shit. So
I didn't know that was written. I didn't know that the first Foo Fighters album was written while Nirvana was still going on. I thought that he, from what I've heard in documentaries and stuff, that he locked himself in a basement and recorded that whole album on an 8-track, like by himself.
A large majority of it was probably written after, but like half and half. Half of it was written while Kurt was still alive. Yeah. Nirvana technically wasn't a thing at the time of Kurt's death. They were going to do Lollapalooza. I don't think they toured that year.
Yeah, I don't think they toured that year either.
No, Kurt was legally missing for the first week before he died.
I think Courtney Love did it.
Yep. That's
because they were on the outs too. They were like from what getting a divorce, and from that one documentary that was released with the phone calls with their lawyer and shit. It's just very.
Also, a lot of things that's been documented was the suicide note. Half of it was in his handwriting, the other half wasn't. The reasoning why is because the half that was in his handwriting was actually a divorce letter, and him resigning from Nirvana to proceed with the divorce proceedings. They made it look like a part of a suicide note, and then added to it.
Oh wow!
Is what the theory is on that. Here's a really interesting thought. Speaking of celebrities that died, Robin Williams, it wasn't his last movie, but one of his last movies was World's Greatest Dad, where his son died from
autoerotic movie. I've seen that movie.
His son died from autoerotic asphyxiation. I can't talk.
Good call, Matt. Good call.
But yeah, I think it's weird that Robin died like hanging himself. World's Greatest Dad. So what do
you guys think about conspiracy? There's a lot of conspiracy around like Robin Williams and Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell and all them like mysteriously hanging themselves out of nowhere, not showing any signs of depression or wanting to kill themselves, and then they end up dying. that they were involved in like outing this whole pedophilia ring, like the Epstein thing and all that shit. Like,
Right.
what do you guys think about that?
I'm going to add
I
to
could
that.
definitely buy into that.
What's that?
I could definitely buy into that. That's some deep dark shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like with Chester and Chris, I do believe that is possible, but Robin was suffering severe depression at the time of his death. He was also diagnosed with Parkinson's and dementia. So his brain was leaving him and so was his body. So he had motive to kill himself.
Yeah, I fully believe that Chester, however sad, did take his own life.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the latest Linkin Park album,
if you watch their last,
he was crying for help. Nobody helped him.
If you watch his last performance, people were throwing not his last one, but one of his last. People were throwing water bottles at him because he was doing their new song.
Yeah.
But Chris Cornell's kind of iffy because he had a tour going ahead of him. He had 3 albums he was working on.
He was supposed to be at Rock on the Range. I was there.
Yeah, I was there too.
I was at Rock on the Range.
Now,
I was really looking forward to seeing that too.
Yeah.
The Chris Cornell conspiracy, his camera messed up. So I don't know if he left or not. I'm just turning off his camera until he comes back.
Oh.
But Chris Cornell's the conspiracy I heard was his bodyguard might have been behind it because his bodyguard was in and out of his room that night. And he claimed he was working on his computer, but at the time of Chris's death, he called 911 and not 911, but called the hotel desk and claimed that he didn't have a key and he was worried. So
I never heard that.
I heard that theory.
What about Ollie? Him being found face down in a pond in his backyard?
Yeah.
That's fucking that someone is looking to that.
Right.
I like how we're getting like into like deep conversation, and this is what I love about the show because I don't like asking the basic questions like "How's your band doing?"
Right.
How big's your schlong? Just tell. We're aiming to be like the Howard Sterns of. No, sometimes we're professional though. It depends on who's on. We like to stay professional.
But no, like, when that Ollie thing happened, I legit cried over that because some dude killed him, like for real.
Yeah. Wasn't he going through a divorce too?
I think he was. I think he was.
Nate has the big 4. Now, Matt, here's the thing. I understand, like, suicide people are saying is never the answer. Connor's back. They say suicide's never the answer. Now, sometimes, I'm not saying it's the right way to go, but sometimes people feel there's no other way out. It's not their fault. They didn't, they ultimately chose to end their life, but there's deep suffering. And like with Robin Williams, he was dying anyway. He just wanted out quicker. Sometimes there's no real right or wrong way to go about it. And nobody really, it is somewhat selfish, but people don't think that way. People think of a quick way out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's,
sorry about having to like dip out real quick. I was like just chilling. And then I realized my camera shut off. Why did my camera shut off? Why is my mic not working anymore? What's going on? Mike removed me from the. What's going on?
I just didn't want a random. You were looking rather pale whenever your microphone turned off.
I was like, what?
So Nate,
hit the camera.
Is there anything you want to promote? Because we're reaching a little late in the show. So is there anything you would like to personally promote right now?
I would like to promote that aliens are real.
Yep.
And keep a lookout for. I mean, if you're on here wanting to know any updates on music wise, for Shrouded or anything else, we're on a break right now, but we will be back at it running soon. And keep an eye out for my other stuff I got going on with For What It's Worth. Kyle, the lead singer, is going to be back from Colorado this summer, and we're going to instantly, get at it and get in the studio as soon as possible to release some new music from that side too. So stay tuned.
Awesome. And Big Chef's Barbecue?
Yeah. John, our guitar player, has finally made the leap into the business venture. He's opening his own restaurant in Wellsburg called Chief Smoke and Barbecue. So keep an eye out on that for sure.
Oh,
You know when that's
What
opening?
is that in?
He's got a couple. On June 28th. He's doing a like a soft opening mobile version, and I want to say Crafton, but I might be wrong there. So hop on his page and see where he's going to be at for that. But the official opening for the restaurant will be within the next, couple months. So if you like brisket, you like homemade mac and cheese, you got to keep an eye out on that for sure.
Oh, me and Big Dave's asses are going to be up there.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I've had the pleasure of working in restaurants with John, and he is a top-notch chef. He knows what he's doing, and he makes some of the best food I've ever had in my mouth. And that's not the only thing I've had in my mouth from him.
You've had his big four.
I've had his big four.
Well, Nate, is there anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up?
Peace, love, and metal.
Applesauce.
I appreciate you having me on, man. I had a blast. This is a really cool platform and a great way to keep in touch with everybody, considering the circumstances with what's going on right now. And, and it's nice. It's nice to have some human interaction, like other than what I've had for the last 30 or 40 days. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Come here and I'll give you some human interaction.
There we go.
We appreciate you coming on, dude, and we would love to have you back and checking out our pink sock or talking the truck with the pink sock. And I have a little image for if Marcus is watching or Fink. There's a little image for you.
I wish I would have thought to have you look for that photo of you with Kyle.
That is forever engraved into the mind. But I appreciate you.
What's that?
I think it cut out.
Did he suck your dick?
Yeah, he cut out a little bit.
Did he suck your dick?
Who? Kyle Gass? Hello?
He did?
Cutting in and out.
You said I asked, did he suck your dick?
No,
Did he suck your dick?
Kyle Gass?
Yeah, not Marcus.
No, I met him at NAMM and got a picture with him, and I made the face that he's making right now. I made that face in that photo. That's kind of ironic.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
So
but it was nice. It was nice talking to you, Nate. We'd love to bring you on again. Maybe actually talk music.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I'll talk about anything.
And remember, everybody, live long, rock hard. Everybody,
with gas station dick pills.
As always.
I feel like Kyle Gass would give bad head. Oh. But
couldn't be any worse than Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he probably eats it like corn on the cob.
His teeth would drag.
But anyway, speaking of that, before we go, one last question. How do you guys, well, Nate, we already know about you guys. How do you guys eat corn on the cob? Do you eat it like typewriter? Do you eat it round or do you blow job it?
I would have to say like a typewriter.
I figured you just put it up your butt.
Oh, dude, another porn video. I seen a porn video of a chick shoving corn up her bumhole.
Wait. 2 bands, 1 corn.
Was that video on Cornhub? But I'm gonna hop off here with you guys. If you guys want to stick around after we go off the air and want to bullshit a little bit more, you're more than welcome. But I'm going to turn it off from being live. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and you can check us out on Spotify on this replay. You can check Shrouded Neglect on Spotify. We are on all streaming platforms but Apple. If you want to listen to us on Apple, go to YouTube. Thank you, guys. I love all you guys. Thank you for coming on here and however you reacted to seeing us. Throw up the devil horns.
Always.
Peace,
Rock on.
love, and applesauce.
There you go. Take it easy, guys.
Deuces.